questions.
Okay, first question, pretty general. Is it too hot?
Yes.
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 Yes, it is too hot.
Yes, absolutely. It's too hot.
I think that many days the temperature is too hot, yes.
At most schools, students don't wear tank tops in the winter, but at Masterman, it's not uncommon. According to many teachers, the temperature in our school has always been a problem, but to answer the question of why the school's temperature is so uncomfortable, it's important to understand how our heating system works.
Perfect. So the heat for this building begins in South Philadelphia at Veolia Energy, where there is a giant boiler. And if you go across the South Street Bridge, you can see this facility located directly across from Penn on the South Street Bridge. The steam that results from that boiling operation is at approximately 250 psi, and it is piped throughout the city. I believe there are 400 buildings in the city of Philadelphia that use the steam from this steam loop. We are toward the far end of the steam loop. As it enters the building, it goes through what's called a regulator. A regulator takes 250 psi steam and decreases it to about 5 psi. And that's about as high a pressure as you want inside a building where there are children and steam involved.
However, the system no longer functions as it should. For example, a 2017 site assessment report conducted by the school district states, pneumatic room thermostats are intended to control the steam radiator control valves. In reality, the radiator control valves are wide open and heating control is achieved via the incoming steam line. Secondly, the control valves themselves are out of date, although some repairs have been conducted in the last 3 years because of fears that the valves could explode. The assessment report acknowledges this by saying, the pneumatic systems are beyond their service life and no longer function as intended. The original control valves and pneumatic actuators are beyond their service life and should be rebuilt or replaced. These older control valves create plenty of problems in how the temperature in the building is regulated.
Once it's in the building, there's one valve that controls the steam. That one valve, when it is opened in the morning, allows the steam to flood every single pipe that's in the building. Once it's in the pipes, it travels to the radiators, like this one, where it condenses inside the radiators and gives up its latent heat.
You may have also seen these Honeywell thermostats in the corner of classrooms and in the hallways, yet they no longer serve any purpose. The system broke several years ago, but according to Mr. Perkins, the system was glitchy even when it was first implemented. Furthermore, it was recommended that our radiators be replaced with newer models 3 years ago. Almost every part of our heating system is either out of date or not functioning properly. As a result, students and teachers both experience issues in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, yes.
And I think it more affects your ability to learn. If you are in a room that's stifling hot, it's going to make you feel tired. It's going to make you feel lethargic. I mean, I can definitely see the level of hotness that my kids have. Like, that's why I told them to put the air conditioner on today, because they were all just sitting there like a little zombied out. I'm like, are you hot? And they're like, yes, it's hot.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's the biggest problem. More than just being uncomfortable, you can't think when it's this hot.
These problems are made worse by lack of ventilation.
Pretty much whenever I can. I feel like some rooms are really cold and some are really hot, but if I'm sitting near a window and it's hot, I always open the window.
I would say most of my classes, except for like 502, but anytime we're on the third or second floor, though, we usually try to get the windows open.
Miss Weber always has her window open. Mr. Comfort will sometimes crack it open, Miss Taylor too.
And then there's certain window classes you can't even open the windows.
Yeah, 301 windows are all nailed shut. I have
Except
to
for
run the
one.
air conditioner in there. 103, the windows slam down. You have to run the air conditioner in there. Room 11, the one window that does open, it's right by a grate, so it kind of smells like people go to the bathroom in that grate over the weekend. So if you open that window, it smells in the whole room, so you have to put on the air conditioner, which doesn't really work very well, so that room is very hot.
And 304 is the same way. The air conditioner doesn't work there, but you have to open the windows as well.
It's such a waste of electricity and heat and energy.
Another common solution is to turn on the air conditioning.
Because it's hot in the classroom, right at the beginning of the period, right at the beginning of the day. And then Sometimes that's not enough, so we even turn the air conditioner on. Like I'll come into the classroom and the air conditioner might be turned on from a prior class. So it's probably every day that the air conditioner and the windows are open, even in the coldest days of winter.
Although this solves the original problem, it creates new issues.
It sucks to use that much power, especially during the winter, but I kind of get why they're doing it. It's not their fault.
Furthermore, the system is not efficient and repairs are recommended to achieve more efficient operation and improve reliability and energy efficiency. Nonetheless, it's important to note that not everyone feels the same way about the temperature of the school.
I'm usually able to tolerate the heat more than others. If anything, I'm glad it's not too cold.
But for those who feel it's too hot, there are some basic solutions that can make the school a more comfortable temperature.
I mean, am I grateful that the heat works? Yes, because there have been years where I was in 301 and 307 and actually taught with
Jackets.
with jackets, gloves, hats, and I had to wear like undergarments under my clothes because it was so cold. The heat in, I guess, all the 101 rooms, it was from the first floor all the way up, were broke. And then same thing happened in 307 and 207. So there has been times where I've actually sat and taught with my coats on, like my coat and clothes on all day, like to a point where I was freezing and had to have a heater like warm my hands up so I could grade.
Room. I would love to have a valve on every one of my radiators that I could manually turn off. So I could simply say, all right, the valve is off today. I don't care how much steam the rest of the heat is getting. At least my room will not be cooked.
Well, I think, so there's a couple of things. One is, I think in terms of the warm weather heat, that's become less of a problem now that we have air conditioning. So until recently, when there's a lot of air conditioning, I found, it being pretty untenable when there was no AC in the room. So I think anyone that doesn't have air conditioning, and it's, I don't know, in the 80s, 90s, is uncomfortable. Now in the wintertime, we have days where it gets unseasonably warm, and I think that maybe the heat's on a little bit too high. It seems like it's blasting, and it's uncomfortable. So we open the windows, we turn on the air conditioning.
Ultimately, the cost of fixing and/or replacing parts of the system is too high. Replacing the Honeywell system mentioned earlier would cost $2.2 million, and replacing the radiators would cost a whopping $3.4 million. Even if the repairs weren't so expensive, many of them have been labeled as low priority by the school district. It's not reasonable to expect the district to spend money on low priority heating repairs when schools like Alney ES and Bache Martin have heating systems from 1900 and 1906, when these two were presidents. The school district also has other issues to focus on, like the disturbed asbestos in Ben Franklin High School and several other Philadelphia schools. For now, we should focus on the small things that can help cool the building and hope that eventually it makes sense financially to complete a more thorough repair of the system.
Are you excited to be in the tropics today? LA? I ran out. And no, I need to bring more. So next Friday, we're going to have another tropical day. Okay, next Friday. That's right.